It's Palm Sunday. This is the Sunday before Easter when we remember Jesus riding into Jerusalem on a donkey and people gathering and getting all excited, a big parade, and they're celebrating Jesus is coming. Now they had palm trees, so anybody could go and break a branch or cut a branch and use it to wave. Now we could always use our palms, and there's Palm Sunday. Yay, Jesus, you're the true King. We welcome you. But you could also have a tree branch, just evergreen tree from here. I know at church we're going to get to have our palm fronds. That's a bit of a palm branch, and each get to wave it. But maybe you can't get to church, or maybe even just to remember to have a way that lasts. I'm going to show you a quick, easy way to make something that looks a little like a palm branch. So you get a green piece of paper, and if you don't have green paper, don't worry. Just take some paper and color it green as much as you feel like coloring. You could even paint it, but then you have to let it dry. So you take your green paper and you take it, so you fold it so it's as long as it can be, and it's in half. Okay? I'm going to press that fold, and that helps it stay folded when I go to cut it. Okay, so hopefully you've got scissors that are the right size for your hands. And you're going to start at the bottom. See how I'm right at the edge? Barely cutting any off at all. But I am going to get narrower and narrower till I'm up near the top. And then I'm going to curve it around almost to a point. So something like that. Now, if you like to cut, this is where you're going to do lots of cuts. Okay? The main thing is don't cut all the way to the fold. You're cutting on the side that you curved in, and that's the side that actually has two edges. Okay? You don't want to cut all the way to the fold. So if you don't like to cut too much, make big pieces that you cut in. And see how I'm not cutting all the way in? I could cut in more than that, but just for now, I'm just going to cut that much. So there, I've done, and you know, when I get to the top near the arc, if you like crafts or you're handy and you want to do this, you can sort of cut in on an angle, a diagonal, rather than straight across. I cut on an angle. And that's just kind of the way most palms grow, a little like that. So you could stop right there, and you've got a palm branch to wave. Now, if you like to cut, cut some more. So I'm going to cut those. You could cut them in half, or I'm going to cut them in thirds, because I don't mind cutting. Well, maybe I won't do all of them in thirds. I don't want you to get bored while you're doing this, but maybe you're cutting yours at the same time. That would be a good idea. All right, see, I'm doing those top cuts on an angle. If you're handy and you want to do that, you do that too. But don't worry, we're fine if you don't. So now I'm opening it up, and there's my palm frond. And I can just use my hand as the stem, but you know what? If you have sticks that are easy to get, maybe a paper towel roll, the inside of it, you can just tape it to the end of the stick, to the end of the paper towel roll, or maybe just borrow something from the kitchen drawer that your mom will let you use. Tape it to that just for a little bit, or a pencil. There. And by scrunching it up, which is fun to do, it looks even more real, like the wind's been blowing through it. So Hosanna, that saying saves. And it was to celebrate the fact, here's someone who saves. But it's also kind of like you're asking, save us. You're the one. We're asking you to save us. So Jesus, you're the one who saves. You're the one sent from God. I praise you. Now, if you're especially handy and you want to do something interesting, you can make a special one. Takes a little longer. You pull it. It goes like that. So you can just do it out of newspaper like I did. But if you wanted a little more green, I found some paper sections that had a fair bit of color on them. And I'm going to add a little more green with my marker. Now, if you like coloring and you have time, you could paint, you could do a ton of green. But you know what? I'm just going to do a bit because my marker is not too strong anymore. So it's not adding much color anyways. Oh dear. But you don't even have to do that if you don't like color. So what I have is 2 long pieces. So if you had a very big newspaper, you could cut it in half so that you have 2 long pieces. And we're going to glue them together. Okay, short edge to short edge. Here I go. So I'm just using a glue stick because you know what, it's the least messy and it'll dry fast, even faster than that good craft white glue. Okay, so I'm just gonna do glue stick down one of the short edges. There we go. Then I'm gonna take the other paper and stick the 2 together along that short glued edge. I'm gonna put it where you can't see it, sorry, but that'll help me do it. I put one on top of the glued part, and then I press it down, and then it's pretty much ready to use right away. And I'm going to start rolling it up from one of the short edges. Oops, I ripped it, but that's not going to ruin it. Don't worry if you do too. You could do this out of green tissue paper, but you know what? It'll rip even easier. So that's why I decided to do newspaper. But if you're handy, go ahead, do the green tissue paper, and it'll look really green. Oh good, I got some green on the outside here. So you roll it all the way up, and you hold it in your hand. And you know what? You can even glue, but just like the bottom third, not even all the way up to half. Just like the bottom third. Do a little more glue, and then you can press it in. So I put the glue stick on, and now I'm pressing it together, and I'm going to hold it from there while I cut. So if you like cutting, this is a craft for you. So you're only going to need to cut about 4 times, but you're going to go all the way into about half. Here we go. There's one long cut. Notice my hand's getting into the newspaper. Yours will too. Don't worry about it. Just press it. So there's one long cut. Here's the second long cut. And here's third long cut. You know what? I only did 3. Oh well, that'll work. I was going to fold mine back, but mine doesn't need folding. It's flopping already. If yours isn't flopping, then you fold it. And now what you're going to do is you're going to find one of the strips that you cut that's on the inside of the roll. So you're looking down in, and you're going to take hold of one of the inside cuts and just hold it, but slowly pull out, and more will come. And that's how you get your palm branch to wave. And this is a big one. This is much bigger than the other one, and nice and flappy. It's almost like a cheering kind of thing, huh? And it also works to announce the King's coming. Hosanna to Jesus. Welcome him in. Open the doors of your heart and welcome the one who saves us. Hosanna. Have a great Palm Sunday.